This is a run through of assignment 2 where we did pour plates and street plates and things like that, and for the merit there was explaining aseptic technique and culture medium and so on. This is D2, which is comparing your experiments really against what they do in industry. And this is page 1. So you've got this help sheet. I'm just going to fill it in and chat through it, then you can fill yours in. Right, so we've got a graph here. I'm just going to do a rough sketch of this graph and what it represents. So in your experiments, you saw, for example, a culture of yeast there. So we provided you with this culture of yeast. So yeast in liquid culture, and you did some counting of these. What happens is we put a small number of yeast cells in here and then just leave them, and then they divide and divide and divide. And this graph shows you what happens over time. So this bottom axis is time, and when you did the hemocytometer counts, these are just the counts at the side. So these are the counts of cells. And as you can see from the graph here, it starts off low, goes really steep, then levels off, and then goes down. What you need to do is explain what's going on at different points of this curve. So we can separate it into stages. So we've got a stage 1, and that's where we're going to explain there. Then we've got this kind of steep bit that's going on there, which is going to be stage 2. What's happening when it levels off? Stage 3. And then what's happening when it's going down? Which is going to be stage 4. This table, the bottom one of this table is actually on the next page, but just to make it easy for the video, I've drawn another one on the bottom there. So this is called batch culture. And later on in this distinction, we're going to talk about continuous culture instead. But this is batch culture, where you just get some yeast, put it in some medium, and leave it for a while, and just follow the growth. So on our graph here, we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. These have different names, these stages. So the first stage is often called the lag stage. Second stage, exponential. Sometimes called the log stage. At the top we have got where it flattens out, the stationary phase, and then when it's going down, that's the death phase. We just need to describe what's happening. So we can say for the lag, we can say there's low numbers, we've got little growth, and the line is flat, is for the moment. What's happening there is that because we've got so low numbers, even if they divide, we've still got low numbers, and these are getting used to the sugars in the medium. They're switching genes on and off to use different sugars in that medium. kind of getting ready to really grow. So what's happening? So there's too few cells to show much increase, and we can say using switching genes to use new sugars as an example. In this exponential phase, it's called the exponential phase because it's doubling every period of time. It's doubling and doubling and doubling as these divide into two. So steep increase in growth. It's, and sometimes it's called the log stage because it's logarithmic or exponential growth. So logarithmic growth. The exponential explanation is that plenty of nutrients, the cells have got used to using those new nutrients, and there's no toxins or anything like that, so they can just, plenty of space so they can just grow. So cells double quickly, lots of nutrients, no toxins, and so they can grow away. Then we have, this would carry on going forever, but in this culture we start to run out of sugars and other nutrients that they need, and also cells sometimes produce waste products that prevent other cells from growing. So in the stationary phase we say the curve flattens out. Cell death is equal to cell growth. So there are some new cells being made, but some cells are dying as well. The explanation for this is nutrients are running out. So nutrients running out, and there's a build up of waste products, or perhaps even toxins. Then we get to the last stage. This is where not many new cells are being made. Most of them are just dying now because they've just run out of nutrients. So decline in numbers. We've got cell death is greater than cell growth. And the explanation is just building on the stationary, so it's no nutrients left, lots of waste products and toxins. And that's what happens in batch culture.